Star Trek, the animated series, episode 2, Albatross. Episode 2 is apparently only on Paramount Plus, which was a surprise to me. I was like, okay, let's go. First, we are introduced to Captain Kirk on a planet called Dramia, delivering some medical supplies, and they offer him a thing saying that McCoy is being arrested for spreading an epidemic on Dramia 2. It's a surprise. It's a big thing. Kirk gets highly emotional after being super friendly. He would never do that. Bones would never kill people. The contradiction is it is stated in some of the, I want to say, extended media or in the series somewhere originally that Bones actually only joined Starfleet sort of in middle age once he had divorced his wife.
Ex-wife took the whole damn planet in a divorce. All I got left is my bones.
Now, they say that he went to Dramia 2 19 years ago, so maybe he was just a normal doctor back then. Who knows? It's the animated series. It's not technically canon anyway. So Bones is arrested, and the funny thing is Bones is actually genuinely like, maybe I did this, and Kirk is like, no, you can't do it. So Kirk and Spock go on a mission to Dramia 2, traveling past an aurora. I want to talk about the Dramians themselves. They look like the Mac and Me aliens. Have you ever seen Mac and Me? It's an old, I want to say, late 80s, early 90s film with an alien. I think it's just the floppy ears, but they really gave me some Mac and Me vibes. I recommend going to watch it. It's terrible, but it's good terrible. One of the Dramians is following Kirk and Spock, and they realize that Kirk goes, oh, there. And then he was like, no, don't communicate with him. Let's just leave the rear hangar bay doors open, of which the alien promptly flies into it, gets onto the ship, gets arrested for being a stowaway, or not arrested, but put under sort of control. That's right, arrested. And then he goes with them to the planet Dramia 2. So they arrive on the planet, they encounter a survivor, they talk to the survivor. He apparently hates humans, according to the main Mac and Me alien. And but when they talk to him, it's sort of like he's just angry, he's sick, he's angry, well, he's sad, he's depressed. And there's a nice little moment in the animated series where Spock puts his hand on this alien's shoulder, and I was like, that's genuinely sort of a nice sort of show of empathy. There were no survivors on Dramia 2, and then a voice comes from the other side of the cabin going, I survived! And he comes out, and it's a Mac and Me alien with a sheet over his head. And he talks about how McCoy saved his life when he was first there by giving him an injection to stop a virus that had been spreading on the planet before that. So he likes Dr. McCoy. Kirk obviously likes him. Kirk's a bit emotional about the whole McCoy situation. He went from being sort of friendly diplomat to crazy, I've got to protect McCoy, pointing out to Spock plenty of times that McCoy would not do that. And so they're all on their way back, and as they're traveling back, they go through the aurora, and they all start changing color. It's one of the symptoms of the plague, of the epidemic. They all start changing color, and Spock is left in charge of the ship. He communicates with Dramia, the first Dramia, because having them called Dramia and Dramia 2 isn't slightly confusing. And he communicates with them saying, the plague's on board, we need Dr. McCoy. Dr. McCoy comes on board. Suddenly, and very quickly, they realize that it's the aurora causing the disease, and suddenly, and quite sort of suspiciously fast, they discover that they can use the vaccine that he gave the original alien 19 years ago to protect them from the disease. They fire some phasers at this aurora, they do some wacky things, there's a bit of suspicion, Spock has to break in to actually rescue McCoy. And it's all over very quickly. It would make a pretty good live-action episode. But it feels very and it's the same with a lot of the animated series episodes. They'd be really good full length 1 hour Star Trek episodes, but because they're condensed down to half an hour, you don't really get that sort of sense of danger or belief. But it is, once again, it was made for kids, although last episode maybe that was a bit questionable. But it ends on the note of them laughing and Spock insulting McCoy because, ha 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 ha, you just nearly died in a prison. But yeah, it's I like the alien design. They have some really cool hands. I like the hands. They're really tentacly. I like the overall story. It is a story that has been done in sci-fi and in things a lot. It's not, and that's even for the time been done a lot. I'm sure that the original series did an episode very, very similar to this. It's just one of those episodes where, and also I think one of the voice cast is one of the producers. I read this on Wikipedia, so it might not be true. Actually, it was Fanpedia. I don't know what it was, but anyway, one of the voice cast is one of the producers, and he's really good, but he just sounds so American, like. Well, I do believe that we have to follow you. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Very American. And obviously, James Doohan does his regular voice acting job for the week. Nothing particularly amazingly super about this episode. It is a bit sort of one-notey. Like, it has one story. There's nothing hugely amazing in this. The only thing that's odd is Kirk's visceral reaction to McCoy being accused of something. And it seems a little out of character all of a sudden, but that might just be me. No, it wasn't me. He was out of character. He went from being like diplomat to all of a sudden, McCoy wouldn't do that. There's no way this would happen. But yeah, overall, look, it's an episode. It's good. It's fun to see the new alien designs because they always try and differentiate them really, really well, and that's something I actually enjoy. We get to see Arex again at the front counter. We get to see everyone turning a shade of blue, which is always fun. The threat, Spock doesn't get affected, which is the instant sign that the original virus was based on a Vulcan virus, blah, 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 blah. So if go and watch the episode. It's fun, but it's not the best episode. And season 2 episodes in, maybe we'll see why it only makes it to 6 episodes. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I have been Trek Trav. Come back next week for more Star Trek, the animated series review. What does Albatross have to do with anything? The title's called Albatross. What does Albatross have to do with anything in this episode whatsoever?